Once upon a wind-blown afternoon, a single white feather loosened from the wing of a dove soaring high above the hills. The dove didn't even notice it slip away. One moment, the feather was nestled safely in the bird's soft wing, strong, proud, important. And the next, it was tumbling through the open sky, caught in a sudden gust of wind, spinning and swirling, carried far away from the flock. Where am I going? The feather wondered, twisting gently as it floated over mountain tops and sleepy valleys. Where do feathers go when they no longer belong? The sky didn't answer. It just kept blowing the feather farther and farther. Days passed. The feather drifted through forests, over glittering rivers, and across rooftops of busy towns. It landed briefly in a tree, only to be whisked away by a breeze. It got tangled in the mane of a galloping horse, caught in the crack of a cartwheel, even pressed into the fur of a sleeping dog. But nowhere did the feather feel like it belonged. I used to fly, the feather whispered to no one in particular. I helped a dove soar. I was part of something. Now I'm just floating, just lost. Other feathers it passed along the way didn't speak. Most were stuck in fences or trampled in mud. Some had been turned into quills or decorations. But not this feather. This feather just kept traveling. Until one quiet evening when the wind finally stopped blowing. It was a chilly twilight in a small town wrapped in the soft golden light of autumn. The feather floated down gently, almost like it had chosen to stop. It landed on the windowsill of a modest little house. Inside that house sat a girl named Elsie. She was around 9 years old, with big, thoughtful eyes and fingers stained with ink. She didn't go out much anymore. Since her father had gone away, her world had grown quieter, smaller. She missed his laugh, the way he used to read her stories, the way he always said, "Happy endings are real if you believe in them enough." But now she wrote stories on her own. Every night she scribbled in a big cloth-bound journal with a worn spine and folded corners. She filled the pages with adventures and fairies, pirates and giants, heroes who always found their way back home. But lately, her stories stopped short. They didn't know how to end. That night, as she stared at the last page of her newest tale, unsure of what to write, something soft brushed against her window. She opened it, and there it was. A single white feather, gently resting on the windowsill. She picked it up slowly, holding it to the fading light. It shimmered faintly, as if it had gathered every color of every sky it had floated beneath. Without even thinking, she pressed the feather between her fingers, dipped it in ink, and began to write the final lines of her story. And something clicked. The ending flowed like music. The words danced. The characters found hope. A home was rebuilt. A letter arrived. A candle flickered in a long-lost window. When she was done, Elsie looked at the feather in awe. "You were the ending," she whispered. The feather, though it could no longer fly, felt something inside it swell, a quiet warmth, a soft belonging. It hadn't been forgotten. It had simply been waiting for the right place, the right moment, the right story. From then on, Elsie kept the feather tucked in her journal. She called it her hope feather. Whenever she got stuck, whenever she felt sad or unsure, she would touch it and remember that sometimes the most lost things still had the greatest purpose. And outside, the wind blew softly again. Not to carry the feather away this time, but to whisper a gentle truth. Even the smallest things can make the biggest difference once they find where they truly belong.